Hey everyone, so we have to talk about the Kirill Kaprizov situation. So a lot of reports, mixed reports, yes and no. Is it true? Is it not true? Kaprizov potentially declined a contract that had $16 million per year attached to it on a long-term deal. So you're talking about over $100 million. Kirill Kaprizov, do you want to be in Minnesota? That's the big question right now, and a lot of people are talking about it. Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts said, for him to say no convinces me of one thing. They know something else is out there that's bigger. There has to be somebody out there with a 7x19 or a 7x20. I'm going to talk about the teams that I think Kirill Kaprizov could go to. If it's that what Elliot Friedman just talked about, Chicago rings in my head. Carolina rings in my head. So let's talk about that. But let's also talk about what teams make a lot of sense past that. Well, there's a connection. Oh, he did play with Ilya Sorokin in the KHL. New York Islanders. So that's another team. I'm going to talk about a few other teams. Just to go through some tweets here. Jay Fresh talks about it. Imagine if Kaprizov refuses to waive his no move and then walks. The Wild are going to be in some trouble, right? Like, I've talked about the Wild being one of the brighter futures in the league. I wouldn't say expansion draft for the Wild. I don't think they're going to be that bad. But Kaprizov is obviously a huge point of their team. This was out here from Daria per journalist Alexei Shevchenko. The Wild have asked Kirill Kaprizov for his trade list, and then Cam Robinson's pouring some water on it. There's just so much going on out there. I thought let's just have like a fun time, look at what people are talking about in terms of trades. The other few are the Florida teams. Tampa and Florida makes a lot of sense for me in terms of like the Russian connection, players on those teams, and just the winning, the no state tax. But then the New York Rangers also, I mean, the Igor Shesterkin maybe, but I do think the Islanders would probably have maybe a bit of a front runner aspect on that. But Tampa Bay trade. The Wild have needed a center for so long. The Cirelli part for me does make sense. In terms of Chicago, Anton Frundell, yeah, I think that's what it would be around. If he was to waive, again, he could go right to free agency next year. Keep an eye on it. But it's interesting, right? But when I look at Kaprizov in terms of his stats, and then I look at his Puckpedia. So I think if you're going to sign Kaprizov to $16 million for the Wild, I think both sides should be happy with that. For Kaprizov, if he did decline it, it tells me he does not want to be with Minnesota. Because I think the conversation of what Freeman's talking about for Kaprizov to get that max deal, sure, some teams would do it, but you're really putting that team in a situation they're not going to be that good. Like, they can't be, right? Like, Kaprizov's been the centerpiece of a Wild team that's not that bad. They're pretty good, actually. And they haven't really done much in the playoffs to the point of Kaprizov being on the team. So what I'm getting at is, even with the cap rising, for Kaprizov to take $20 million of the cap, like, sure, it might be up to $100 million. That's still 1/5 of the cap towards one player. So, of course, last year, 41 games, 56 points. We know this guy's well above a point per game player. He'll be under a contract for $9 million for this upcoming season, and then of course a UFA. So there's so much going on for the Rangers. I don't even know if that's enough. Again, it really depends on if does he specifically tell the Wild, I am not coming back. I don't think that's happened yet. I don't think it's going to happen for a while. Svechnikov going to the Wild, I mean, I think he'd want to play with Svechnikov. So I'd even wonder if it's a different kind of player, like a Seth Jarvis. Again, I think if a trade like that happens and that kind of value is going to Minnesota, the other team would have to have a guaranteed extension in place. Kind of what happened with Rantanen to Dallas, right? So Washington's another really interesting one. The Russian baton passed from Ovi to Kaprizov. It's very interesting. So there's so much going on, guys. I think those packages are interesting. If we just go to we'll do a couple more. So, I mean, there was a couple I wanted to look at in terms of, I think there was an Islanders one I saw. If not. The Carolina one, if it's not Svechnikov. But this one, again, they have Svechnikov. So, it's pretty interesting. Let's see if there's an Islanders one here. If not, we can always make our own. But this one, 4 first-round picks from the Islanders. I honestly think it might be something like that. I don't think the Islanders would move Matt Barzal, but the Bo Horvat part is interesting to me. Would Horvat be open to a team like the Wild? Because, again, they just need a center that bad, and then multiple first-round picks. So, everyone, give me your thoughts. We're going to keep an eye on the Kaprizov situation, just continue with the updates, but I wanted to give a bit of a summary to the people that maybe are not updated. Of course, you're on this channel or subscribe to this channel for news updates. So, right now, as it stands, mixed reports on Kirill Kaprizov potentially turning down a contract that was $16 million per year, long term. Elliot Friedman suggesting that maybe there's contracts that are floating in the air from other teams pending. That could be 7 times 19 per year or $20 million per year. That would be nuts, right? Like, you're talking about the biggest contract in NHL history by far. You're talking about a contract that could surpass $150 million, depending, right? Like, if the Wild want to really match that on an 8-year term, it'd be that, right? So it would be 100 and, if my math serves me right, $60 million over 8 years. So give me your thoughts, guys. It's going to be a very curious next few months in the National Hockey League, leading into American Thanksgiving, leading into the winter break, leading into the Olympics in the 2026 Olympics, and then, yeah, trade deadline, free agency. I mean, this could be a crazy free agent class. Of course, things could very much change. Crosby, we'll see. McDavid, sign extension maybe. Kaprizov. Just go down the list. Like, there's so many potential outcomes here, but it also could get squashed by extensions soon. So subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. Give me your thoughts on Kaprizov and where he can end up. We'll talk soon. Peace.